Now, you might find this odd given that I love air fryers, but I actually don't think that everyone should buy one. And that's because a lot of people buy them believing that they are designed to cook everything, and they are not designed to cook everything. But this is designed to do all the stuff that air fryers do, as well as being specifically made for wet foods like stews, sauces, and stir fries. So, before you rush off and buy an air fryer, watch this video first and let me show you why, for a lot of people, this might be a better buy than an air fryer. So this is the Ninja Speedi 10-in-1 multi-cooker. If you've looked at the Ninja website, you might have seen they have a couple of different ranges of multi-cookers. The Speedi is designed for cooking entire meals for a family of 4, but in practice, it can also cook stews and casseroles for up to 6 people when you're cooking side dishes to go with it using other appliances. With the average UK household being 2-point-something people, the Speedi is going to suit most families. Because many people will be looking at this as an alternative to an air fryer, I wanted to show you what it looked like on my kitchen worktop next to the 9.5 litre Ninja Foodi. Now, yes, the Foodi air fryer is larger capacity, but with a couple of exceptions, which I'll talk about in a moment, most of the time you won't actually be using all of the capacity in an air fryer. And so this Speedi is going to cook for broadly the same number of people as a dual drawer air fryer. Inside the Speedi there's a cooking pot and a cook and crisp tray, both of which have ceramic coated non-stick surface and are dishwasher safe. The tray can be positioned at 2 different heights, and so that allows you to cook directly in the pot, on the tray, and also on 2 layers, with wet food at the bottom of the pot and dry food on the tray higher up. On the outside there's an air intake on the top of the appliance, a steam vent on the right hand side, and several air vents at the back. Like all multi-cookers and air fryers, you have to ensure that there is room for air to circulate around them when they are in use, and particularly for the steam to escape from that vent on the right. And that brings me on to one of the few negatives about the Speedi, which has to be acknowledged, which is that unlike a drawer air fryer, you need to lift the lid on it all the time to take things in and out. And so depending on the layout of your kitchen, this might be less than ideal if you don't have a spot on the worktop without cupboards directly overhead. In our kitchen, we were constantly moving it backwards and forwards on the worktop to ensure that it had clearance around it and to make sure that the steam outlet was clear of the cupboards, but then pushing it back so that we had usable space in front of it. But the Speedi offers so much more than a 2-drawer air fryer that you don't want to discount it just because of that one factor. The 10 functions on the control panel are divided between rapid cooker and air fryer / hob, and there's a smart switch at the top of the machine which switches the appliance between those 2 menus. When the smart switch is toggled to the left, the rapid cooker menu is visible. The first option is Speedi Meals, which is where this appliance really excels itself. The Speedi Meals setting allows you to cook a complete meal for the family, combining wet and dry ingredients on 2 layers by folding out the 4 supports for the cook and crisp tray and placing it higher up in the cooking pot. Now, the marketing material for these Speedi Meals says that you can have everything done in 15 minutes, but take that with a pinch of salt. You'll even notice that when they print that claim, there is always an asterisk next to it because it doesn't include food preparation time or the time that you need for the steam to build up before the cooking cycle starts, which is generally an additional 4 to 10 minutes. But that said, you can still cook a healthy dinner in under 30 minutes. This being a Ninja appliance, the Speedi comes with an excellent recipe book with lots of ideas showing you the kind of meals that you can cook in it. We loved the barbecue pulled chicken sliders with sweet potato wedges, which allows you to cook chicken on the bottom and wedges on the top, and then use the final minutes of cooking time to beautifully grill the burger buns. And if you're looking for really simple, healthy meals, you can also grill protein like chicken or fish on the top layer while steaming vegetables underneath in the cooking pots. And once you've exhausted all the recipes in the printed book, there's more on Ninja's website or on their app, and you can also filter them so that you can see recipes specifically designed for the Speedi. If you're looking for a cookery book made for the Speedi on Amazon, just be aware that there are quite a few which are churned out by AI these days, which means that the recipes aren't tested and they often aren't made with UK measurements despite the Union Jack on the cover. I've actually made a video all about this, which includes some tips about how to spot AI books, and I'll link that below. The second option on the menu is steam air fry, which allows you to brown and crisp ingredients without drying them out. We tested this function with a 1.6 kilogram chicken, putting a mixture of wine, lemon juice and herbs in the base of the pot to add steam, and the results after 40 minutes of cooking were fantastic, both in appearance and taste. If you've watched my Instant Pot video, I raved about the chicken cooked on the pressure cooking setting, but it didn't look anywhere near this good, and it involved a lot of faffing around trying to brown it on the saute setting first. So at the moment, this wins as my new favourite method because you get a crispy finish and beautiful moist chicken. Of course, having one pot rather than two drawers does mean that if you're cooking a chicken, you don't have a separate cooking compartment to cook vegetables in. But you can very easily overcome this by letting the chicken rest under foil at the end of its cooking time while you steam vegetables in the pot and cook potatoes on the plate above them, a bit like doing a Speedi meal. The third option under the menu is steam bake. If you're new to steam baking, there isn't a pastry, a cake or a loaf of bread that I have come across that doesn't turn out better using a steam oven. But if you can't afford or don't want to spend the money on four figures for a premium brand built-in steam oven, which is what they cost, then the Speedi offers the facility for a fraction of the cost and a fraction of the energy use. My brownie had more moisture and rise, and these frozen pastries that I cook in most of the air fryers and multi-cookers that I test came out beautifully puffed up and incredibly light, and you wouldn't get these results in an air fryer. And the last option on this side of the Speedi is steam, which allows you to cook food using no direct heat. Using this function, you place the cook and crisp tray in the lower position. The steam function is a great healthy option for cooking vegetables or fish without a crispy finish, and it's perfect if you're trying to eat a better diet or watch your weight. Now, before we look at the menu on the right, I just want to ask you a favour. If this video is proving helpful to you, could you be helpful to me and hit the thumbs up? And if you're new to this channel and you haven't subscribed yet, which I know is a lot of you watching, please consider clicking that subscribe button. I make weekly videos that help you choose and use your home appliances. And as far as I can work out, I am the only person doing it and focusing on UK and European models of those appliances. So let's look at the other half of the functions on this Speedi. Moving the smart switch to the right and placing it in the downward position engages the air fry / hob menu on the right hand side of the cooker. Options under this menu use direct heat from above, below, or a combination of both. And this is where you're going to find the functions that you would get on a Ninja air fryer, plus extra ones. For almost all of the functions on this menu, you use the cook and crisp tray in the lower position by folding the supports in. The first option on this menu is grill, which uses direct heat from above. This is also the equivalent of max crisp on the dual zone air fryer, and it can be set to a maximum temperature of 240 Celsius. You can use this, by the way, to make toast in as well. It's also one of the exceptions when it comes to positioning of the cook and crisp tray on this menu, as you raise it up into the higher position to ensure that food is close to the heat. Next is air fry. This is the function that you want to use for frozen foods like chips or mozzarella sticks to give crispiness and crunch. It's also good for homemade breaded chicken, which is thin and of course cooks quickly under intense heat. If you want more surface area to cook on, something which I haven't tried personally, but I have seen a few people mention, is buying a second cook and crisp plate from Ninja. They're not expensive, and then placing one of those beneath on the lower level and one at the higher level. I did do my standard energy test with the Speedi where I run it on air fry at 200 Celsius for 10 minutes and it used 0.151 kilowatt hours, which as a comparison is slightly more than equivalent capacity air fryer draws. Next is the dual bake / roast setting. You'll find these two as separate settings on a Ninja Dual Zone air fryer, but they are both broadly equivalent to cooking in a conventional oven, and they both use the same fan speed and only differ in the preset temperature. So it makes sense to combine them on the Speedi as one function, and then you can alter them to your desired temperature and cooking duration. Use this setting for roast potatoes, sausages, pasta bakes and puddings. In fact, it will probably be one of your most used settings. Then you have dehydrate, which is a low fan speed and low temperature for slowly drying out meat, fruit and vegetables over a number of hours. The lowest temperature you can set this to is 40 degrees. I tested this out dehydrating an apple on a 6-hour program and it used about half a kilowatt hour, which at today's prices is equivalent to 12p. The 5th and 6th functions on this menu both use heat from below. First, there is sear / saute, which is like a big frying pan, and this is useful for browning off meat or vegetables, particularly prior to using the last setting on the menu, which is slow cook. As with air fryers, Ninja advise you to shake, toss or turn food during cooking, but many times I found the air circulated better in the Speedi than in an air fryer, and so actually less turning or no turning at all was required. Another reason the Speedi might be a better option than an air fryer for you is that I find that people who buy their first air fryer are often itching to buy accessories to go with them, and you don't actually need many accessories for an air fryer. But if you want accessories, the Speedi has loads and they're pretty useful and affordable. They include a folding rack, a griddle cup and veg tray which divide the space in the main pot, a non-stick cake tin and a silicone mini muffin tray. You can also buy a replacement pot and a cook and crisp tray, which as I say is useful if you want more cooking area. And of course, you can use oven-proof dishes of your own that fit the space too. When it comes to cleaning, although the removable parts are pretty easy to do because you can stick them in the dishwasher, the one thing that does worry me about the Speedi is the inside of the lid around the heating element, because there's a plastic grill across the top of that. Now on the plus side, because you're going to be doing steam stuff in this as well, that is going to help to keep that area cleaner. But I wonder how it's going to fare long term. So if you've got the Speedi and you've used it for a while, I'd be fascinated to know how you have found keeping that area clean. Please do drop your thoughts in the comments. And as ever, a reminder to go check the description of this video for links to buy the Speedi if you want to get it, which does help support this channel, recipes and any corrections after the video goes live if there are any. Thanks for watching.